Hi guys, Ian here, aka Huru Mantra. Welcome to my channel and to another video. And it's been a while since I last uploaded a video and chatted to you all. And so before I start, I just want to say I hope you had a great Christmas or Yuletide or however you might have chosen to celebrate that time of year. It was a good one for you, and I hope that 2019 is a year of learning and blessing and good things for you. So yes, this is the second time I'm recording this video. I first recorded it this morning whilst out on my walk, where it just flowed perfectly and I was able to say all the things I wanted to say. But unfortunately I had my thumb over the camera, so it was all soundtrack, no picture. So yes, I'm having another go. So you can bet your life this is going to be full of bloopers and goodness knows what. But I want to talk about stepping onto a spiritual path. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is coming to a point in our life and in our experience and our understanding where we suddenly become aware that there is more to life than the things that we can see and touch and hear and feel. That moment in our lives where we become aware of the spiritual dimension, both of ourselves and of the world and of creation. Now, if you've watched any of my earlier videos, you'll know that for many years I was a member of a charismatic Christian church. And so you might say, well, that's a spiritual path, isn't it? And yes, it is. But I don't necessarily mean that. I mean something beyond that. That moment when your understanding seems to expand just into another dimension, where you suddenly just begin to see things differently, where you know that there is all of this is the surface of life. This is not it. This is not the ultimate reality. This is the skin on the surface of something much bigger, much deeper, much fuller. And when we get to that point in our lives, it's a bit like the film The Matrix, isn't it? Where one of two things happen. Either we, having gained that knowing, that insight, we set off on a path of further discovery where we want to know more fully, more deeply, more completely, or what we see and understand kind of frightens us a bit, and we decide, oh no, I'm not going any further than this, and in a sense we go back to sleep. Now, I'm not sure whether it's the red pill or the blue pill, or even if it's a green pill, but the choices that face Neo in the Matrix are the choices that face us. Once we get that insight, we can't just stay stuck. We either go on our journey, on our path of discovery, or we kind of switch ourselves off again and return to life in the superficial mode, as I would describe it. But I think now the reason I haven't uploaded a video in about 6 weeks, or perhaps even a bit longer, is because I've been going through a kind of existential crisis, and I've thought to myself, why is this happening to me? And it really amazed me that I knew the answer why it was happening to me, but didn't realize that I did. And it's because, you know, when we step foot on a spiritual path, when we do it with intention and with sincerity and willingly, we put our foot on the highway of advanced soul evolution. Now that might sound like, what the hell is he talking about? But what I'm saying is, when we actively seek the truth of the mysteries, And what are we talking about? The mysteries of existence, of divinity, of ourselves, of our relation to the all. When we say to ourselves, I want to know more, I want to experience more, we are putting our foot on the motorway, on the expressway of soul evolution. Now, we may not realize this, but I think it's important that we know what we're signing up for when we say, I want to know, I want to experience, I want to know all about the mysteries of life. It's not going to be easy always. It's going to be hard work. Now, there are many spiritual paths, aren't there? And if you've watched my videos, you'll know that the minute I'm furthering my own journey through study of Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, and particularly through the study of the tree and the experience of the Tree of Life through the method and the means of path working. Now, path working nowadays is often used to describe any kind of guided meditation, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about path working in the esoteric sense, where we use the visual imagination, where we use exercises and journeys on the astral plane and the astral light to experience the paths between each sephira on the Tree of Life. Because path working was originally an occult practice, a hidden practice. Now, occult is not evil, it just means hidden. And it was a practice of the initiates. It was a secret practice. It's only now, in modern times, where we're beginning to find available more publicly the practices of the initiates of old. For another example is the practices of cognitive behavioral therapy. They were initially the mental practices of the initiate, of the student of the occult. Now, make of that what you will. I studied a master's in cognitive behavioral therapy, and I was amazed at how those techniques that are used, those practices, those theories that underpin how and why cognitive therapy works, they can be seen very clearly in the disciplines of the occult practice of the initiate. Sorry, I've got dogs here going there a bit crazy. So yeah, so what I'm talking about is path working. Now, if any of you are involved in my purpose, right, of making this video is to try and share a realization that came very late to me. Now, it may have not a lot of meaning to many people, but if you are a student of Kabbalah and your practice involves path working, traveling the paths of the Sephirot on the Tree of Life, then I think you need to be aware of something, and that is the enormity of what it is that you are doing. Now, I'm not saying this to scare anybody, right, to put anybody off. I see very clearly now why teachers, wise teachers, will say to people, look, this is not something to be done in a light-hearted way, without a lot of thought and without a lot of dedication, because it exposes you to experiences that you may not be ready to deal with. Now, why do I say that? Because if you think of what it is that you are doing when you undertake path workings on the Tree of Life, you will begin to see why they are so serious, and they are monumental experiences. Firstly, the Tree of Life, okay, the glyph that is the representation of all things, of the complete expression of divinity as known to humanity. Well, one of them, because as I say, there are many spiritual paths. Excuse me. So as an example, if we look at the 32nd path, which is the path from Yesod down to Malkut. But we travel it, don't we? We travel it first from Malkut to Yesod. Now, Malkut is the kingdom. Its title is kingdom. It is the realm of all things manifest. Now, this is where we have our experience of our daily life. This is where our knowledge is. This is where our sense of comfort, our comfort zone, is in the physical material world. So our first path working would be Malkut to Yesod. Now, Yesod is foundation. It is, foundation. What does foundation mean? It's the foundation of everything in manifestation. It's the astral light is said to be the place where the blueprints of everything that actually comes into manifestation first appear. One of the Esoteric titles for Yesod is the storehouse or the treasure house of images. Now, what does that mean? It means it's the place where everything manifest has its first expression, its blueprint, if you like, and that which exists in its astral form in Yesod actually comes into physical manifestation in Malkut. So even here we see what we're doing, perhaps on our first path working journey. We're trying to raise our consciousness, to expand our understanding, our experience, to know existence and ourselves at a level one stage up. No longer in the material manifest world of Malkut, but the higher, finer, more spiritualized form of all of that in the realm of Yesod. Huge! It's a huge thing. So if we approach it and we think of it as a little story, a guided manifestation, okay, we are wrong. That is not what it is. The path working aims to raise your level of consciousness, to expose you to an aspect of existence that you are not exposed to in normal everyday life. It's massive, and that's just one path working. Okay, when you think of all of the paths on the tree of life, and that we travel them both ways, we travel them up, we travel them back, we are talking about willingly trying to expose ourselves to the most incredible and amazing experiences. Not all of those are going to be easy. Not all of those are going to be pleasant. If you think of, for example, the title of two of the higher Sephira on the Tree of Life, Gevurah, whose meaning is severity, and Hesed, whose meaning is mercy, you can imagine the sorts of realms we are going to be traveling into. Severity, Gevurah, the breaking down aspect of existence, the force that burns away that which no longer serves, the force that allows evolution to occur by killing off those things that have served their purpose, those things that no longer serve. The harsh side of nature has its root in Gevurah, that which disposes of, that which allows growth to occur. Because without the burning away, if you think of the angel of Gevurah as Kamael, a burner of God, without the burning away of that which is old, there can be no new. We would be static. If there was no death aspect in existence, we would be freeze frame. We would never evolve. So the power of Gevurah is very necessary in our growth and in our evolution and in our lives. But it's sometimes very painful, and confronting it can be very painful. There's great beauty in, the bountifulness of Hesed, the outpouring, the upbuilding, the growth promoting, the the new, the ever new aspect of Hesed. You know, we will experience that energy and that essence in our pathworking journey. If we look at Tiferet, for example, whose name is beauty. Why is Tiferet beautiful? Because it's the fulcrum, it's the balancing, it's the great moderator of the tree of life. But in doing that, in moderating all of the energies of the tree, in gaining balance, there is sometimes a great deal of angst and pain involved in getting to that state of perfect balance. Now, when we think about the reflection of Tiferet in ourselves, we become perfected, we become balanced, we become rounded, we become beautiful through the same processes, and sometimes they are very painful processes. So I'm sounding like a prophet of doom here, and I certainly don't mean to be, because whatever effort and energy we put into learning about the tree, we get back so much more. Whatever investment we make in traveling the paths of the tree, we gain many times more back in our expanded consciousness and our knowledge of existence, our knowledge of ourselves, our wholeness, our completeness, our soul evolution. And what I'm saying is, you know, that saying, know yourself, which is really a fundamental part of any spirituality. We say it very glibly, but we do not always realize what is involved in the process of coming to know ourselves. And I think that we should, because I was not showing the appropriate amount of respect to the processes and the journey that I was on. And, you know, where I am now, the path working that I'm on now, doing right now in life over the last month or two, is likened to the second dark night of the soul. And I found it to be exactly that. As I said, I felt I've been in an existential crisis. It's been an incredibly difficult time for me. Not to do with circumstances, but to do with coming to see myself as I am. To understand myself as I am, not as I thought I was, but as I actually am right now. And sometimes what we see about ourselves is not pleasant. When we see that we are not the people that we perhaps thought we were. But we have to get to that stage before we can grow and change and evolve. This is the purpose of a spiritual journey, that we might become more than we currently are. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to end here. But it's important to realize what it is we are signing ourselves up for when we say that we want to walk a spiritual path and that we want to know in order that we might serve, because that is another key phrase of the occult tradition. You know, I wish to know in order that I might serve, that I might share what I learn, share what I gain as experience. And as one wise teacher once said, it's not our purpose in life to fight evil, it's to bring more light into the world. So with that thought, I will leave you. Thanks for listening. Speak to you guys soon. Bye for now.